Hey everyone, how's it going? It's me, Larry the Batman fan, and I'm back with another video. So, I had an idea for a video. No, it's not the PS2 collection part 5 video. I will get to that eventually. I'm still going through playing some games. I wanted to talk about the Wii again, and I had some Wii hidden gems. I saw that RGT85 did a video on Wii hidden gems. I also saw that Metal Jesus Rocks has covered it several times. So I figured I'd go ahead and at least share with you guys some games that I played that I consider to be good on the Wii, but they aren't as well known. You know, like everybody knows, Super Mario Galaxy is one of the best games on the system. Everyone knows about The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess and Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. You know, everybody knows about those titles. They know how good they are. Excuse me, but they don't know, so much about the underrated games that aren't like garbage. Because at face value, a lot of collectors, they tend to stay away from the Wii because of all these crappy games like Anubis 2, Ninja Breadman, Barbie's Dreamhouse Party, and that other Barbie game. I know there's two or three Barbie games on the Wii. All the pets games, pets, dogs, pets, horses, shit like that. Games like 30 Great Games, which had like no good games on it. There's a lot of them on the Wii. Wii Fit, I think that's garbage in my opinion. But what are some games that I think are actually worth it to own for the Wii? Well, I have 6 here, but I'm actually going to be going over 8 titles. So let's go ahead and get started. Uh, there's one that I don't own. It's called Sam and Max. Basically, two cartoon characters that work together and they solve mysteries. It's a puzzle-solving detective type of game. It's on the Wii. It's Sam and Max Volume 1. I don't know if they made a Volume 2 of it or not. But I know that game was pretty good. Um, and that's what you do. You play as the two characters. You switch between the two. They work together as detectives to try and solve murder mysteries. So that's what it is. And there's some puzzle solving in the game and a couple of driving sections. But I thought that the game was pretty good. For a Wii game, it was actually worth owning. Missions that you do in the game were pretty fun. There's a little bit of, you gotta use the Wii remote, waggle it a bit. That was their gimmick with the Wii, with a lot of the games that they made for the Wii. But all in all, I thought Sam and Max was a pretty good game. Some other games I have here that I want to mention that I think is worth it is Mini Ninjas. Here's a bag for those that care. And Mini Ninjas I thought was a pretty good game. You know, you play as this ninja guy, you lead an army of ninjas, you go through the levels, you kill bad guys with your sword. And you get from one place to another. And it's just a really fun game. It's a good hack and slash game with some platforming in the game. It reminds me of another game, I Ninja for PS2 and GameCube. Kind of reminds me of that in a way. Very good game. It's definitely fun. The graphics look pretty good. It was definitely enjoyable for sure for a Wii game, so I recommend that. Um, I have this game. It's in my collection. I've shown it before. I don't have it on me at the moment. But the next game I want to highlight is called Dragon Blade Wrath of Fire. Not as bad as some people would think for the Wii. It's another hack and slash game. Although the graphics may not look that great for the Wii, it makes up for its gameplay. You know, like there's a leveling up a little bit, so it has a few RPG elements in it. You play as a guy, I forget the guy's name, but you play as him in the game and you go through levels just fighting monsters and moving from town to town. You eventually do fight like dragons and things like that in the game. I thought Dragon Blade Wrath of Fire was actually a pretty good game. Nobody really talks about that game either, so I do consider it a hidden gem. The game's pretty fun though. The levels can be a bit linear at times. And like I said, the graphics don't really look that great. They don't really look like a Wii standard type of game. But all in all, I still had some fun with the game. So I recommend it if you guys are looking for good Wii games, but you don't want these terrible Wii games. You don't want games like Barbie's Dreamhouse Party and Ninja Breadman and Anubis 2 and 101 to 1 and 30 great games and Action Girls Racing, crap that nobody really wants in their Wii collection. You know, it's worth it. Next game is Game Party 3. Now, I know a lot of people hate Game Party 3. They think it's like a bad version of Mario Party. But honestly, I think that out of all the mini games that they made on the Wii, besides like Mario Party 8 and 9, Game Party 3 actually has a leg to stand on. The other two game parties that were on the Wii were also good. Although Game Party 2 didn't seem like it did much new, you know, for the Wii. So really, you could skip Game Party 2 if you wanted to. And Game Party 1 was like the start of the whole Game Party craze. I didn't think any of them were really that bad, honestly. But I haven't played Game Party Champions on the Wii U. I've heard that game's really bad. But I don't know because I've never played it. But I just know that from what I played, it's really not that bad. I wouldn't listen to a lot of the people who talk about this game because it's really a decent game for the Wii. Some of the many games in this game, like the horseshoe, was pretty fun. I liked billiards. Billiards was a lot of fun, especially with two players. And you have your brother or sister or your friend to play. I really only have Joseph right now to come by and play games with. So if I had Joseph come by and we were playing Game Party, I'd probably play billiards with him. And shuffleboard was also another really fun game, you know, because you could literally screw your opponent over at the last like couple minutes of the game and literally win by knocking his piece all the way over to the other side of the board and then falling off the board completely. So that way that person doesn't win at all. So I liked Game Party. It was a fun mini game collection. And I'm probably one of the only few defenders of Game Party besides the Wii Viewer. Yes, he's another YouTube channel that I've watched. Check him out, the Wii Viewer. Of course, now he's doing Switch reviews, but yeah, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Moving on. Next game, which I didn't see Metal Jesus Rocks talk about. And I didn't see RGT85 talk about it either, so I'm going to talk about it. It's Captain America the Super Soldier. A licensed game based off the first Captain America movie that we had. And it's actually a decent game. Here's the back. It's actually a pretty fun game. It's a good beat 'em up style game on the Wii. Excuse me. Now, it wasn't exclusive to the Wii. It was also on Xbox 360, and I believe it was also on PlayStation 3. But all versions of the game are pretty solid, except for the handheld versions. The PSP version and the DS, they were entirely different games, and they sucked. and the frame rate issues I heard in those versions were just awful. So I don't recommend those versions, but if you get Captain America the Super Soldier, definitely look for it on Wii. Now the gameplay is basically Captain America. He's a superhero, of course, based on the famous Marvel comic books. You go through the levels, you unlock doors in certain parts of the game, um, and you punch bad guys and you throw your shield, you know, at the bad guys. It's a beat 'em up style game, but it does have some puzzle solving in the game as well, and a little bit of platforming. It's a very good game for the Wii, and I think it's overlooked, especially for the Wii. I don't think very many people have talked about it, especially for a video game, movie licensed video game type of thing. They just haven't talked about it, but it's good. Next game I want to talk about is Obscure 2 The Aftermath. I did see RGT85 talk about this game. I'm talking about it too because it's a really good game. It was also put on the PlayStation 2, although the price of the PlayStation 2 disc now to get it complete with the manual and the case and the cover art is ridiculous. But the Wii version of this game, surprisingly, is only about $15 or less. It's definitely worth a pickup. This was one of the 40-something Wii games that got a mature rating as well, because there weren't a lot of mature rated Wii games. There was only 43 total from what I counted. It's a survival horror game. There are 4 kids. They're high school students. You choose, to play as, you switch between the two. But you choose 2 characters. You switch between them in it. And you solve what has been going on with the high school and everything. There's some sort of plant that's cause people to go insane. There's also it's very mature for sure because of blood and gore, drug reference, mild sexual themes, and violence is what it says on the back. Well, it doesn't list the violence on the back, but it still has violence in the game. And there's creatures and shit that you gotta kill in the game. And it's just a really good game for the Wii. It's a really good survival horror game that really gets overlooked in my opinion. And you can also play this game in co-op with a friend. I don't have very many friends that are around me, so it's just usually me playing. But maybe Joseph will come by and I could get him to play this with me. But yeah, it's a good game and I definitely recommend it if you guys are looking for Wii games. The next game I want to talk about is Bigfoot Collision Course. It is a racing game on the Wii. It's very good. I recommend it. You can customize cars in the game a little bit, and it focuses on the fun and it focuses on the arcadey style of it. Props to Gimpy Ninja. I got this off of Gimpy Ninja. I remember buying this game from him and a lot of, PS2, Wii, PS3, PS4 games, stuff like that. Maybe 1 or 2 PSP games. And I got a whole bunch of games off of him for one set price. And this game was something that looked interesting to me, so I decided to get it. I did beat this game. It didn't take me very long to beat it. I thought the controls for the Wii was pretty solid. And it was definitely a fun time for Bigfoot Collision Course. I know they have another one called The King of Crush. I want to try that one out as well. And I know there's also one on the NES, which is probably what made Nintendo decide to continue the Bigfoot series with 2 extra games for the Wii. But it's not widely talked about, and I think it's actually a pretty good game. Honestly, I do. Even though nobody's really talking about it, I'm shedding light on Bigfoot Collision Course. And the graphics don't look that amazing, honestly. They look kind of cruddy. But, graphics to me don't really make or break the game that much. As long as the game is actually fun. That's what matters to me the most. So I recommend it. Now, the last game I want to talk about is another game that gets a lot of hate for some reason. But personally, I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it's pretty solid. Like I said, sometimes there is a game that people say is dog shit, and I actually think that it's not a bad game. And then there are those games that people say is dog shit that I agree with them on. But this was not one of them. It's Far Cry Vengeance. I thought this was a pretty fun first-person shooter game for the Wii. And yes, I know the majority of Far Cry games are not hidden gems because they're widely talked about. But this one I feel is underrated, for a Wii game. It's one of the first-person shooter games they put on the Wii. And it's an M-rated title, of course. But it's a lot of fun, honestly. The environments are detailed and the grass looks real. And everything about it, I liked it. I didn't get very far, but from what I did play of it, I enjoyed it from what I played. I had a generic story, of course, but I really didn't mind a generic story if the gameplay is good. And overall, I thought it was enjoyable for a first-person shooter. It's one of those games that gets, a lot of hate. Same thing with the original Red Steel, which I also thought was a pretty good game as well. So anyways, those are the Wii Hidden Gems games that I have. I might do a part 2 of this eventually and talk about 8 or 9 more games. But here you are. Definitely seek these games out, guys, because I think that they're worth the money. Especially if you have a Wii and you're looking for some games to play, but you go into your game store and you see like they got 50 or 60 games, and the only good ones is Mario and Zelda, or Metroid as well. And you're like, man, I already have these games. What games can I get from a system that aren't complete garbage? Well, this will definitely help you guys out. So yeah, until then, thank you guys for watching, thank you for listening, and God bless you all, and game on, gamers. Game on. Larry the Batman fan signing off. Peace.